there, it's Elaine Gardner, the founder of DesignYourHealthyLife.com. It's no secret that I am not a fan of winter. This past winter, I had the pleasure and the immense privilege of staying at a relative's home in Florida for a week during the week of my birthday in January. It was a fantastic escape, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity. My husband and I didn't really make plans before we traveled about what we were going to do when we were there because the weather had been really unpredictable up until that point. We were extremely fortunate and so happy that the weather turned out to be absolutely gorgeous the week that we were there, the entire week that we were there, with the exception of a little bit of rain one day. So we ended up visiting some of our favorite beaches in the area, and we've been to Sanibel Island more times than I can count, and it's right about a half an hour from where we were staying. So it was a really easy drive and so wonderful for us to be able to walk the beaches in Sanibel. It's been quite a few years since we've been there, so we were just beyond pleased to be able to do that. And there were quite a few people at the beach because the weather was so fantastic, and there was this incredible, overwhelming, unnatural smell. And I was just blown away thinking about how much people use sunscreen. I can't even begin to explain how prevalent the smell was and how shocked I was, especially for January, because I understand that the sun is strong and you definitely want to avoid burning, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But the smell was just so incredibly strong. And the sun isn't that strong in January in Florida. So like, we were walking on the beach all day and really didn't need sunscreen. And coming from New England with our bright white skin, and we didn't burn on the beach all day. So I think people overdo it just a little bit. And one of those reasons is fear of the sun. We've been taught to believe that the sun is going to create cancer and kill us. And sunscreen didn't exist for a really, really long time. But people found ways to get around this, and they were out in the sun a whole lot more years and years ago than we ever are now. So I think our thoughts are very, very misguided in this area. And the sun actually does amazing things for me. The sun is non-negotiable. It changes my mood dramatically, which is why I'm not such a fan of winter. I really have a hard time with my mood and energy in the winter. A lot less now than I used to, but I still am just a whole lot happier when the sun is out and it's beautiful and the doors can be open and I can be outside. But when you're exposed to the sun, the interaction between the sun and your skin actually creates vitamin D, and you don't get that same vitamin D creation, obviously, if you're not in the sun, but also if you're covered with sunscreen. It compromises your body's ability to do that. It completely shuts down that process. And vitamin D deficiency is huge, and it's something that you've probably heard a lot about. Vitamin D affects every function of our body, and it's really, really critical for our health. And supplementing is helpful and important, but it cannot make up for lack of vitamin D production that you get from the sun. It should be in addition to. That's what supplementation is, in addition to, not in replacement of. That's why it's called a supplement, not a replacement. So I really want to encourage you to shift your mindset about that and get some sun exposure without sunscreen, but to do it in a safe way. Yes, you can have a sunburn. Yes, you can get skin cancers, but it's more complicated than that. When your body has the proper level of nutrients that it needs to run and function optimally, you're not going to have the same risk of skin cancer from sun exposure that you would if your body's already unhealthy. So you want to keep your body nice and strong and healthy, and that will protect you. But also, where have we lost our common sense when we go to avoiding the risks of skin cancer by putting toxins on our skin that compromise our body's ability and also contribute to cancers? Because anything you put on your skin gets absorbed into your body. And if it's a toxin, your body has to work really hard to process it. And we're surrounded by toxins this day and age. So our bodies have not evolved to be able to handle and process the level of toxins that we are exposed to. So from a common sense perspective, you just want to avoid as many toxins as possible. So you want good sun exposure, you want to be safe about it, you don't want to get burned, but you don't want to put chemicals on your skin. Thankfully, we do have non-toxic options available. And the Environmental Working Group, which you can find at www WEWG.org is a nonprofit institution, and they publish a safe green, a guide to healthy sunscreens every year, and it's something that I always rely on as well. And that just came out, so you can easily find that on their website. And I've repeated this same message quite a few years in a row now, but our family favorite is on the list again, and it is, I'm showing you here, it just came in the mail. It's Caribbean Solutions, or Caribbean Sol, S-O-L. Solguard SPF 30. It's water resistant, it's eco-friendly, it's reef safe. We tried many different sunscreens before our family settled on this. Some were too greasy, some were too hard to apply, some didn't work at all, and we got some sunburns. And this one everybody loves, and it's effective, and it works, it's easy to apply. And my oldest son also spends a lot of time in really sensitive marine areas, so it's really critical and important for him to have eco-friendly and reef-friendly sunscreen, so that he's not damaging those fragile environments that he's working in. So we love this. I just ordered this bottle because we are heading off for vacation in a couple weeks. So I also have these TSA approved travel bottles. There's one for my husband and one for myself. Most of this 6-ounce bottle will fit into these 3-ounce tubes, so that we'll be able to get through TSA without any trouble and have a full bottle of non-toxic sunscreen available for us for use on our vacation, which is often when we need it the most, because we're going to be outside and we're going to be in a warmer environment than usual, and that's when we need our protection the most, so that we don't get burned. And we'll definitely be getting some sun exposure probably earlier in the morning or late in the day without sunscreen on, so that we can still make our vitamin D and don't miss out on that important element or benefit. But we're still going to have our non-toxic sunscreen, so we don't get burned, and we're not putting toxins in our skin. So win-win-win all around. So I hope that serves you well. I'll talk to you soon.